Nature weaves a golden web called passion to trap the lion in the service of the lamb. To see the web is to cut the thread. To cut the thread is to rule the jungle. Schopenhauer's Echo. There is a noise in the back of your mind, an uncomfortable sensation that appears in moments of silence, when the party ends, when the fight is over, when you look at the person next to you and, for a split second, see a stranger. Modern society built an entire cathedral to stifle this noise. Movies, music, romance novels, Valentine's days, promises of happily ever after. All of this was designed to hide a single brutal truth that Arthur Schopenhauer, perhaps the most dangerous philosopher of the 19th century, dared to drag out of the shadows. He said what most men die without having the courage to admit, that the love you feel, that force that makes you move mountains, sacrifice your career, your peace, and your dignity, is not poetry. It is a calculation. Schopenhauer looked at the passionate kiss, at the heroic sacrifice of the man for the woman, and did not see beauty. He saw a sophisticated mirage created by nature with a single, cold, and relentless objective: the survival of the species. Think of it as a magic trick, a biological illusion designed to blind your logic. This mechanism transforms rational men, war generals, geniuses of science, and captains of industry into obedient servants. It makes a man kneel before an ideal that, in concrete reality, never existed. And here is the part that will make many close this video right now. Women do not want you to learn this. Not because they are evil, let's take morality off the table right now, but because the survival of their power depends on your ignorance. If you stay until the end, I won't sell you hate. Hate is for the weak. I am going to hand you something much more dangerous, your vision back. To understand the depth of the abyss we are in, we need to clear Schopenhauer's name. Many call him a pessimist, bitter, a misogynist. These labels are merely defense mechanisms of a society terrified by the truth. When Schopenhauer wrote about women and love, he did not speak with resentment. He was not a rejected man crying in a corner. He spoke with the lucidity of a surgeon who needs to cut the flesh to expose the tumor. He observed female behavior not as a moral critic, but as a naturalist observes a lioness hunting or a spider weaving its web. Without sentimentality, just pure analysis. What is the Greek tragedy of male life? It is the childish belief that women are angels, beings of light, ethereal, morally superior, destined to save us from our own brutality. Schopenhauer laughed at this idea. For him, this adoration is the fatal error. He argued that women are not angels. They are the direct and most potent representatives of the will to life. Understand this concept, or none of this will make sense. The will is the blind, irrational, and hungry principle that permeates the entire universe. It is the force that pushes the plant toward the sun, that makes bacteria multiply. It wants only one thing: to continue existing, at any cost, no matter who it hurts. And the woman is the vehicle of this will. The man? The man is merely the instrument of labor. It is because this truth is so raw, so disenchanted, that there is a colossal effort, conscious and unconscious, so that you never read these lines. Because a man who understands the mechanism, he loses the enchantment. And a man without enchantment is a man who cannot be manipulated. Let's dive into the practical dynamic. How does this work in your day-to-day life? According to the Schopenhauerian view, the woman possesses a natural, evolutionary ability to disguise her real intentions. Not to be confused with planned malice. Nature, over eons, programmed the woman to be a perfect actress in the theater of life. Why does she need to act? Because physical force was never her weapon. Direct confrontation is not her battlefield. The female weapon is psychological influence. It is the capacity to generate an interest that shuts down male rationality. Analyze the signs. That look that seems to unravel your secrets? It is an evolutionary trap. The modulation of the voice, which becomes higher and more childlike near a man she desires? It is a refined survival strategy to awaken your protective instinct. She needs to guarantee safety. She needs resources. And the most efficient way to get that is not by asking, it is by making you want to give. Schopenhauer said that woman is the mirror of the will, disguised as romance. She does not conquer the man by delivering the naked, raw truth. She conquers through mystery, by the gaps, by what she does not say. It is the strategic silence that makes the male mind work overtime trying to decipher her. It is the ambiguous smile that promises paradise and refuses entry at the same time. She knows in the depths of her instinct that her power does not reside in clarity, but in the confusion of your senses. But the blow only works because the man wants to fall for it. Schopenhauer argued that the man in love loses clarity. He enters an almost hallucinatory state. You do not see the woman standing in front of you. You see a movie that your mind is projecting onto her face. You project your needs, your desires to be a hero, your need for validation. You attribute to her qualities she never had. You think, she is different, she is pure, she understands me. Schopenhauer would say, no, she is not different. You are the one who is hypnotized. Love is the veil nature places over your eyes so that you do not see that you are merely serving the reproductive instinct. The man works, fights wars, builds entire civilizations, believing he is serving his muse. But in cold truth, he is serving the species. Marriage, mortgages, social obligations, these are the bars of this prison you enter smiling, believing you have found freedom. And that is why the end of passion is so devastating for the man. When the brain chemistry drops, when the veil falls, he enters despair. Not because he lost a partner, but because the perfect image he built shattered on the floor of reality. He realizes he was loving a ghost. And the woman? She senses when she is being idealized, and she plays with it. She feeds the illusion because she knows that control is born from illusion. And here we reach the central point. What happens when the man wakes up? Schopenhauer said that the female power structure depends entirely on you continuing to sleep. Because an awakened man, a man who has taken the pill of reality, sees the existential void behind the charm. He looks at physical beauty and no longer kneels. He understands that beauty is merely the polished surface of a biological promise. He does not bow to charm because he knows that charm is a tool, a chisel used to sculpt his behavior. This man becomes dangerous to the system. Women, for the most part, prefer the dreamer, the incurable romantic. Why? Because the dreamer is moldable. He is soft clay. He is full of hopes and fears that can be orchestrated emotionally. The awakened man, on the other hand, is cold. Not cold with psychopathy or cruelty, but cold with lucidity. He is unshakable. He does not react to drama. He does not validate jealousy games. He observes. And in human psychology, nothing is more terrifying than being observed with clarity, without the filter of adoration. The woman smells this in the air. She perceives when the man sees the game. It is like a glitch in the matrix. She tries to provoke him, tries to cause jealousy, tries to be sweet, tries to be cold, and he remains static, like a rock in the storm. And this dismantles her strategy completely. Without your emotional reaction, she loses her fuel. Without an audience, the actress loses her purpose. So, what is the superior destiny of man, according to Schopenhauer? It is to transcend the will. What does that mean? It means stopping being a biological puppet. A man who is not a slave to desire is the freest being to walk this earth. Can he love? Yes. Can he feel his blood boil? Of course. We are men, not robots. But attraction does not drag him by the nose like cattle to the slaughter. He lives in a rare balance between flesh and spirit. When you reach this state, something extraordinary happens. The magnetism inverts. The power changes places. Where before you ran after her, begging for attention, seeking validation, now you become a dark, unfathomable mirror. Now it is she who tries to understand you. It is she who asks herself, what is he thinking? Why doesn't he react? What is he hiding behind that serenity? The female fear of male indifference is ancestral, because the woman knows on a visceral level that her social power is born from the reflection in your eyes. If you do not reflect, if you do not validate, she ceases to exist as a symbol of power. The lucid man dominates not by force, not by shouting, not by abuse. He dominates because he is whole. He does not need the woman to feel complete. He has already integrated mystery, intuition, and sensitivity within himself. He stops being an emotional beggar and starts radiating the presence of a king. Schopenhauer believed that suffering comes from the illusion of separation. When you understand that you do not need an other half, you become indestructible. You feel pleasure without being held hostage by it. You love without losing your gravitational axis. Many will hear this and think the path is isolation, bitterness, hatred of women. That would be falling into the trap again. Hate is still a bond. He who hates is still a prisoner. The final lesson of Schopenhauer is not the war of the sexes. It is the peace of consciousness. The lucid man does not despise women. He sees them with crystal clarity. He respects them as part of nature, beautiful, intense, necessary for life, but not divine. He does not place them on an unreachable pedestal, nor does he reduce them to objects. He just sees what they are. And seeing reality is the greatest power there is. When you understand the woman's role in the gears of nature, you stop blaming the player and understand the rules of the game. Love ceases to be a desperate fever and becomes a quiet presence. You stop seeking salvation in the other and find it in the silence of your own mind. Women do not want you to read Schopenhauer. The system does not want you to wake up, because an awakened man does not buy what he does not need, does not promise what he should not, and does not sacrifice himself for illusions. He is free. The question I leave you with today is, are you going to continue being the gear that spins blindly to move nature's mill? Or will you have the courage to stop, observe, and finally be master of yourself? The door is open. Crossing it is up to you. If this video opened a crack in your perception of reality, subscribe to the channel. Here we do not feed comfortable dreams. We dissect the truth, however hard it may be. Leave your like if you are one of the few who can stand looking into the abyss. See you at the next awakening.